This lesson on angles and polygons contains mostly new information. The good news is it's not all that hard to do, but the bad news is you do have to memorize the 4 formulas involved. These formulas are not on the SOL formula sheet. They're definitely showing up on your quiz, on your test, on the SOL, on the final exam. They're just one of those things that you do have to memorize. So our essential question is, how do I find angle measures? In polygons. Alrighty, to begin with, we are going to have a couple of, having some smartboard trauma here. Hold on just one second. Okay, I paused it to move the smartboard. I also needed to cough, so again, I apologize. Let's take a look here. Whoa, some big smartboard issues. Gonna pause it again. Okay, lots of issues with the smartboard. I'm going to have to run back and forth to the computer to move the screen, and I don't know if I'm able to get a highlighter or not. I've oriented 3 times already with no effect. So, all right, patience. I'm going to exercise patience with this lesson. The first 2 note cards deal with finding interior angles of a polygon. The first one, the polygon interior angle sum theorem, so very creatively named. So we're going to find the total number of degrees inside a polygon. And we use a very simple formula here. 180 degrees times the quantity of n minus 2. N represents the number of sides that the polygon has. And this is true for all of the formulas that we're going to talk about today. All right. This works for any polygon, regular or irregular, doesn't matter. The corollary, however, only works when you have a regular polygon. Okay, and this means I want 1 interior angle, 1. So I'm going to take my sum, 180 degrees times the quantity of n minus 2, and I'm going to divide by the number of sides. Okay, so personally, I memorize the total, and then I know to get an individual, I just want to divide by the number of sides. All right, let's try a couple of these. Going to pause it and restart. Find the sum. Sum is our key word here, of the interior angles of a 15-agon. So my formula is 180 degrees times n minus 2. So that is going to equal 180 degrees times 15 minus 2. And I'm going to stick that in my calculator because I really don't want to do 180 times 13. 2,340 degrees. Now I want to remind you, something we've been talking about since Unit 1 is I want to see the formula, because that tells me you know what you're supposed to do to solve the problem. I want to see the substitution, because that lets me know if you were on the correct path toward getting the right answer. And then I want to see the answer. Right? I'm looking for those 3 parts. Do you know what you're supposed to do to solve the problem? Can you set it up correctly? And then the final part is, did you type it into the calculator right or not? All right, those 3 components are critical and mandatory. If you just put this in your calculator and put an answer down, I am not giving you credit. All right, try number 2 on your own real quick. All right, check your work. How did you do? Next, what is the measure of each interior angle? So we're talking about 1 interior angle. Pentagon means 5. So my formula, 180 degrees, n minus 2, and then divide by the number of sides to get each. because we do have a regular, so we're allowed to use this formula. 180 degrees, 5 minus 2, divided by 5. Again, we're going to put that in our calculator. Right, I think we get 540 divided by 5, 108 degrees. All right, pause your video for a moment and try number 4 on your own. Okay, how'd you do? Next up, we need to talk about exterior angles. Okay, and the Polygon exterior angles theorem. See if I can get a highlighter again. Here's our last two. It's the easy one. It does not matter how many sides your polygon has. The sum of the exterior angles is always 360 degrees. I really like that one. That one's easy. Remember that your interior angles and your exterior angles form linear pairs and are therefore supplementary. Basically, that means I can give you an interior angle and you can still figure out the exterior. Or I can give you the exterior and you can still figure out the interior. Okay, the corollary to this is we can find, and this should say the measure, not the sum, typo, of one or a single exterior angle by taking 360 degrees and dividing by the number of sides. All right, so let's try one here. What is the measure of each? Meaning 1. Exterior angle, and it has to be regular. Hexagon. Hexagon means 6. So 360 degrees divided by n. 360 divided by 6. Each exterior angle is 60 degrees. Pause your video for a moment and try number 2. All right, hopefully you did well there. Now let's look at our last two. If the exterior angle measures 12 degrees, so my exterior angle of a regular polygon measures 12. So that means I'm looking at 12 degrees equals 360 divided by the number of sides. How many sides? That's what I'm trying to solve for. This involves algebra. I need to multiply both sides by n. So 12n equals 360. Divide by 12. So in this case, n is going to equal 30. Pause your video and try number 4. All right, check your work. For your summary, I'd like you to write down the 4 formulas you have to remember, and be sure you note which 2 formulas only apply to regular polygons.